Hi, I'm Shubham Agarwal, born and brought up in the city of Kolkata. So I'm proud to say that, in fact. So I'm completing currently pursuing my MBA in from IIM Bangalore. So I joined in 2023 with the hopes of do something better with my engineering degree. To be honest, so like I completed my yes, so I completed my engineering degree from IIT Kanpur in 2022. After which I just worked for a year in data sciences. This preparation for an MBA journey, like the one of the most difficult parts has been jumping on the bandwagon. So like completing CAT, clearing interviews, waiting for the calls, and dealing with all that. So throughout that process, I was mostly by myself trying to do things for free, scouring through the internet for every resource available. So in that aspect, like I think I can share my experiences and my insights to everybody who is there.
My name is Amit Kumar and I am from Patna. Currently, I am leading finance committee here at IIM Mumbai, and I was fortunate enough to use these skills during my summer internship, wherein I have worked for the BFSI client. And prior to MBA, I have total 28 months of work experience working with Infosys and EY, wherein I have worked across projects involving trade finance, new product launch, and to drive clients' top line revenue. And I have done my graduation from electronics and communication engineering. And apart from my academics, I enjoy my time with doing fitness training, reading books, and investing in equity markets. So that's all about me in brief.
I am Gaurav Taneja, currently pursuing MBA in finance field from IIM Lucknow. So during my stint in this college, I am an institute ranker here, and I interned at Goldman Sachs in their investment banking division. Before this, I had a 23 months of work experience at Equity Knowledge Partners in finance field. So, and before that, I have an undergraduate degree of economics honors from Sri Venkateswara College. And I've kind of balanced my professional experience and education with various extracurricular activities. Like I was a part of various college societies during my undergraduation as well as here in Lucknow. And I love to play cricket and obviously watch cricket. And I was actually the captain of my school cricket team, and I was also the part of the cricket team at the institute level during my undergraduation. And yeah, I love to travel and explore things. Like right now, I'm in Europe for my student exchange program, and also I have like a 2 years of work experience in giving cat interviews. So yeah.
My name is Pratik Goel. I was born and brought up in Kolkata. Currently, I am pursuing MBA from Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai, where I am refining my expertise in finance and strategy. Recently, I secured a position as commercial and investment banking intern from JP Morgan Chase and Company. Additionally, I am a student coordinator of Finance Committee in IIM Mumbai. Also, recently, I was awarded with the prestigious Access Scholarship from the CFA Institute. Prior to my MBA, I had graduated from Narsimhanji College of Commerce and Economics with a BCom honors degree.
I think ideally candidates, once they are sure that they want to pursue MBA from any greater institute, should start the preparations at the same time. Like there's no separate preparation. Like one, I prepare for CAT separately. Once CAT is cleared, I should start for interviews. It should start together. But then, yeah, it's not too late either.
So I will talk now just for the CAT exam. So once you are done with CAT exams, I think 1 week should be sufficient enough because you will get the answer sheet of the exams and then you can check how much marks that you are getting. And as per that, you can start preparing. You will have fair idea once the answer sheet is released. So that is the right time everybody should start preparing for the interview. Because once your shortlist start coming, you won't have enough time to prepare for the interview. So that is the right time, I would say. So it will give you a bandwidth of around 2 months at least, because most of the interview will starting in Feb or March. So December and January, you will have time to prepare everything. And to be honest, like the weightage of interview matters a lot for a lot of colleges. I am Trichy, even I am Mumbai, a lot of colleges, because doesn't matter, you like, I have seen a lot of people who got like ABC call, but still they were not able to convert it because of the performance of the candidate during the interview. So interview should be at least enough, so you should be able to convert at least one from top two calls. After doing a lot of efforts, you got ABC calls, still you are going in some tier two. I mean, it won't justify your hard work. So yeah.
If you talk about when to start times, I believe it completely depends on, person to person. Like, for example, one of the factor that I consider most, like, it depends upon the release of cat answers post cat. So like it takes around 3-4 days to release answers, and one is aware of the fact that, like, if you are scoring a good decent amount of score or not, and you are aware of like the approximate percentile you'll get. Like if you're scoring a 99 plus, you know that you'll get calls. Obviously, I'm not talking about the profiles like a gem profile, what colleges they'll get. But if you're scoring a decent amount of percentile, like a 99 plus, you know you'll get calls. Then I believe that's the time you should start preparing. There's no point of waiting for results. Then like post results, it takes around 20-25 days for colleges to release calls. But and then interview gets started in January only. And then again it continues till April. So I believe you have a very short span of time like between the result and the interviews getting started, and there's a lot to cover. There's generally a lot to cover if you are generally preparing for interviews. So I believe you should start giving some time, maybe an hour or 2 hours in the starting, post the release of cat results, given you know that you're scoring a decent amount of score, and then obviously increasing the time as the time passes by, but giving or scheduling some time for other entrance exams also. But yes, that's the point you should start, even though many people don't start. But obviously again you will be one step ahead of them. They will be preparing post result or like after some time, but if you start early, you'll be more prepared. And like, but if you know that you have not scored enough, you have not scored a decent percentile, obviously it depends upon the day, even though you have prepared hard, but you might not score enough, then you should focus on other entrance exams. So like the point is you should have a priority list in mind. So yeah.
This is a very subjective question. There are many people who start preparing for interviews even before CAT, and many like me start after tests are over and you have your percentile in hand. But with my experience, I think the sooner you start, the better it is.
My case, I had some startings on what to do, what not to do, things that I was clear on. So that there is that, and I had taken some help from a few people around me on what to prepare for CAT examination. I knew a person who had pursued the PGP, the Executive Postgraduate Program from an institute. So I got some help in what can be done for this for the examinations. What are done for these interviews? And yes, browsing through internet, like there are dozens of pages available, Quora, Reddit, which tells you what can be done, what are people looking for in these examinations, what can you prepare. Like yes, the CAT interview is nothing like the CAT exam. They won't be testing you on your mathematical skills or your data skills. They will be testing you on what you want to do in life, what you want to be. And those are some general questions there. Like it's a lot more. A question interview usually lasts for about 30 minutes maybe. Could vary from person to person and institute to institute, and they have different patterns also. So yes, one needs to be very, very, very well informed. Like just browse through their websites. Many of these IIMs themselves, like IIM Indore and Bangalore, at least I can talk about, these two institutes had already mentioned on what they are expecting in their offer letters. The interview call letters, actually, not the offer letters, the interview call letters. So you need to be very thorough with what you're going to say there.
I think 6 or 7 days after 4th December or somewhere, the answer key were out, and I just calculated the marks, and then I was getting okay. I was getting like 65 to 75, somewhere in between that. So you calculate marks, then you put on some, online percentile predictor, and then you get like, okay, you are getting 99, 98, 98 points, somewhere, in that range, the 98.5 to somewhere 99.23. Then you put somewhere, they will give you some predictor also. So according to that, you'll start preparing for that. Suppose you are getting, no, I am Lucknow. So what kind of question they ask, how much grilling that they do, how depth in how many question they ask, and to what depth and extent will they go. So as per that, if you're like putting one point, you should be very thorough about it. So I have done the same thing. I just got the like all the expected call, and then what kind of how their interview process is. Then I just went through it. For example, if you're getting IIM call, they are having a different process. If you are getting suppose SJSOM or VGSOM call, like I got, so they were like very technical. So whatever the subject that I have done in engineering, I have to go through it every time. Like every day, I have to at least 2 3 hours dedicated for my engineering subject. It was like 2 3 years back because I graduated in 2020. So, two part I have to divide, one for MBA, then VG SOM, SJ SOM, SPJMI also. So that was the strategy. And then also, depending upon the college, you need to prepare your introduction also. And you need to also plug in what kind of hobbies that you want to reflect in your introduction. Because some question might become like a lot of people use, okay, my hobbies is playing cricket. So if you give like more generalized kind of hobbies, they can ask very in-depth question of cricket that you may not be able to answer. So I try to remove those kind of ambiguities in my introduction. It should be very crisp, clear, and some hooks should be there in introduction that can drive your interview towards your desired direction. Otherwise, it can go anywhere. So I do not wanted to keep in like open-ended introduction. So that was my idea, and I prepared according to that.
So, like in my case, what happened is I knew for the fact that I was scoring big. Like I was sure that I was getting 99.5 plus, but I was not sure that what. But yeah, I knew for the fact that I'm scoring big. So from the point I got to know, I started from that day only. Like I never wanted to delay my admission. So my journey was tough. Like I am that kind of person who tries to cover everything. Otherwise, like I feel a sense of regret if I don't cover anything. I miss something or something which was in my hand, but I left it out. I am not that kind of person. So even though I was working, and I had a 3 days work from office, so it was hectic for me. So I used to read news during my personal time in the morning, even though I used to read on phone because I'm not a newspaper fan. But yeah, I used to be aware of the things that is going around. So during my preparation, I prepared a list where like what are the most important things I need to cover for interviews. So like from covering basics of economics, I literally read my undergraduation books like again like 2 times during my preparation, and post that I prepared for HR questions. I prepared for my workings questions, and these are not like the questions like introduce yourselves or strength or weakness. I prepared for them, but I focused more on the cross questioning that the interviews might do on each and every line. Like I had a 35 page long word doc showcasing my stories, my failures, my strengths, what are the cross questions that they might ask on each and every line. I had this list of 2025 HR questions and a cross questioning on each and every line, like what I speak in that particular answer. This actually helps you to give clarity of what you can speak, how to speak, what stories you can tell, what are the cross questions they might ask, where you can get stuck, what so that this gives an opportunity of you something not to speak. So post that, then I had a list of finance questions. Like I liked finance, so I studied corporate finance. I studied a little bit of valuation for interviews. Then you write SOPs for various interviews, various colleges. So then getting I knew the background of each and every word, each and every line I used to write on those SOPs. Then I'm a fan of cricket, so I prepared questions for cricket, and my role model is Virat Kohli. So knowing each and everything of Virat Kohli, like from every stat, number of fours, number of six, number of centuries, number of records he held, number of runs he scored in each and every format of the game. So I knew everything about his professional stats. Then I knew things about his personal life, like his birthday, his marriage anniversary, his baby's name, their birthdays. So you need to cover a lot of things. And then there's a thing that you should know about your state, you should know about your city, you should know about the college of which you are giving an interview. You should know about, like, if you're giving an interview of IIM Lucknow, you should know about Lucknow. You should know about UP. You should know about Yogi Adityanath. You should know about your CM. Like there's a lot of things to cover, and there's a very short span of time. So the early you starts, the better you are prepared.
I have started my interview preparation journey after the that exams were over, which is I think around first Sunday of January. And after all my exams were over, I started my interview prep, and I basically divided my preparations in three parts. First one focuses on behavioral questions, such as tell me something about yourself, or the strengths and weaknesses of yourself, why that particular institute, etc. The second and the most important for me was academics. And being a fresher, academic side was I had to strengthen that part. And the third one was GK. Also, you can divide GK into three parts. The first being static GK, the second being current affairs, and the third being the things that are related to you. And we have to basically prepare some of the questions on all the parts and try to frame an answer so that it's easy in the interview to go through it.
Yeah, I talk about this, and I talk about this not from just my perspective. There are a number of people who are actually in the IIM, many of my friends who talk about their experiences as well. So I'll start the interview itself. So firstly, like many of these interviews, they start off with one of the another test. Like many institutes take a WAT, written analytical test, in which they give you some topic. Like it could be any kind of a topic of debate, and then it's like on spot, given a topic, and now you have to write about it. You barely get any time to think also. So those topics and those tests are mainly not to judge your flowery literary skills. It's mainly about seeing how analytical you are. What can you think about the thought process? Or if there's any given problem, on what sort of a solution can we approach? And trust me, the topics could be anything. So one of the topics that I got was, can students be allowed to work part-time? There's not really a yes or no like good answer to it. One might think, yeah, they should be allowed. One might say that no, they should not be allowed. They should be focusing on studies. The point here is try to elucidate them properly, clearly. Like even I'm speaking right now. Earlier, I was fumbling on some words. I was thinking two different things while writing. Take a minute, step back, and see. Separate those thoughts and speak. That's one thing for the written ability test. But then the same thing carries on to the interview as well. The interviewer will ask you random questions to throw you off, and that, trust me, that happens very often. In fact, one of my professors did mention he will give you a very stupid question in an interview just to see if you're thrown off or not, whether you're on the same track of mind or not. And yes, that happens. One of the very weird questions could be like, what do you think about poetry? You're in the middle of a fully analytical questions on what DC motors can do, and then suddenly this question comes up from another panel member. So yes, those people, those panelists are in general looking for three main things. One is, why are you there to do an MBA? Like, of course, the whole allure in Indian market is about the packages it offers, the opportunities it unlocks. It's up to you how to you put that in your perspective and how it suits you the best, because there are hundreds of other candidates behind you as well. You need to point out why you are the best for this role as well. It's somewhat similar to a job interview in that regard. Second is, you need to tell them that you are of the best state of mind and you can solve any problem. For that, yes, there are some questions in which they will put you on spot, like why do you think that this particular political party is losing the elections? So those are some basic problem solving skills, like they require you to do that. And this was just one example that could be related to anything. How do you think this business could go? This is something that happened or should happen in the future. What are your opinions on it? And yes, the third part is how aware you are about your surroundings. People tend to ignore this part a lot. People are just like scouring through the internet. It's like simple terms, it's current affairs. So like you are sitting there in India trying to give an MBA interview, you don't know if there is any new company or not new company, what other major like steps some other company has taken. You're saying that you are interested in finances, let's say, or you're interested in marketing. You don't know what Zomato has done in the last 24 hours. So keeping up with what you say you're interested in is going to be very much relevant and important. Like I told about like what the professor himself and the panel member himself asked me, what are you reading about nowadays? And it's like during my time of interview, there was a lot of buzz about ChatGPT. It was new back in the day. Like it's still new, but back then it was just 2 months old. And I told like I'm reading a lot about this. Like fine, go on, tell me about OpenAI. Why do you think OpenAI should be or should not be bought by Microsoft? So there are pros and cons to it, and once again, yeah, it's like part of both. Talking about current affairs and my mentality, and my problem solving or my analytical skills on it. So yes, these are three major things that any interview would be aimed for. Any out of the box question is probably meant to throw you off. It's not that you should not answer it, but yeah, try to answer it, but don't think too deeply.
Thing that they definitely look for is the once you get into some college, are you going to add any, like, are you going to do any value addition for the college or the cohort that they are going to take? So they look for a diverse kind of people from medical background, from engineering background. Most of the people come from engineering background. So if you are coming from engineering background, at least show in the interview process that you have business acumen. Because I've seen a lot of people who, like, for any small question, they go so much into technical depth of it. So that was not required. You be more of a, have that MBA perspective of the things, more business acumen that you need to show. So that was one of the things that any interviewer will look. And the second thing is confidence, and the confidence is, and also the way you talk to the people, the communicate. So confidence is one of the thing, because once you come here, you have to face a lot of interview, presentation, and all of it, where you need to show confidence, where you need to interact. So that was required in every interview. So yeah, these two skills are very much required. And then also the third that we do during our VRC preparation in the CAT, you have to, very in short span of time, you have to read a lot of things, and then you have to, say something out of it, say the at least gist of it. So skimming through a lot of contents and getting out the major part of it. So those three skills.
So, so like, yeah, I have given CAT interviews for 2 years, and I've given interviews for like each and every IIM present in India, starting from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta to even Trichypalli, Udaipur, every college. I've given interviews for every college, even non-IIMs too. So I believe the one thing that I generally like they believe, like I believe honesty is the most important thing. Like you should be true to yourself. Like the person who will be taking interviews, they have any years of experience judging people like you, so you cannot fool them. They are very quick to catch you. And then you should, I believe you should not look like a person, like what to say, like a bookish person. You should seem like a street smart person. They don't want someone who can like score marks reading books. They want someone who can handle the B school pressure. It's very tough inside here. Like the most difficult time is the first 3 4 months. It's very difficult to pass on that time. So you should be the one who can handle pressure, and you should be like I believe a well-rounded personality. You should be a confident personality. You should be the one, who takes a stand on debatable topics. You should have an opinion on each and everything. You should not be the person who like knows, who states fact, but the more thing they judge you on interviews is that you should have an opinion. You should have an opinion on things they ask, like even the current news on the general knowledge, like what is happening in Russia Ukraine war, or what is happening in India. What is the future you think of India? How are different economies working? What is different in India? What do you think about AI? So you should have an opinion. It's not like you're stating facts. There's no point. Everyone knows facts. What do you think about this thing? And yes, so you should be passionate. Like there must be a reason why you're doing MBA. Obviously, apart from money, but there must be an inside reason why you're doing MBA. So yeah, this is something which interviews look for.
With my limited interaction with the professors and mentors, I think they evaluate and assess candidates on mix of many things. The special ones are personality traits such as your ability and willingness to learn, your contribution to class, your professional attitude, your academic potential, which is based on your prior academics, and also your academics that they ask in the interview, and also your alignment with the institute's value. I think balancing your confidence with humility and authenticity with preparation, I think one can clear your interview.